Hello guys, welcome back once again. Today there's a very big news making the rounds on social media. I just got a hold of it. And this news is about Sweden, all right? Now they say that the Swedish government wants to be paying people to leave their country. You may not understand what I mean. What I'm saying in essence is that the Swedish government wants to pay immigrants a whooping sum of $34,000 to Nigerian migrants and others to excuse them to leave their country, that they should go back to where you are coming from. Like, instead of, I don't know. I don't even know how they intend to do it. Is it that people who have gotten documents will, can still do that? Okay. It applies to everybody. Yeah. It applies to everybody. So if you have documents in Sweden or you don't have, you are still eligible to apply for it. And I know that a lot of people are going to take it. About, this is $34,000. $34,000 is almost like 50 million naira. 50 million naira. So like you are staying in Sweden now and they offer you 50 million naira. Would you take it and return back to Nigeria? That is the question I have for you. Please let me know in the comment section. I'm going to be playing you this video. So we'll hear from the government themselves when they will come and explain it. So you have your own take. All right? Let's watch.
The money and leave, please. The Swedish government is offering to pay immigrants $34,000 if they go back to their home country. The conservative government's migration minister said that this is part of a paradigm shift in Sweden's migration policy. Migrants who leave voluntarily can apply for the $34,000 beginning in 2026. Now, that amount is 35 times higher than the existing grant, which has been in place since 1984. But officials say that it's relatively unknown and unused. For example, only one person used it last year. Emma Lufgren is a journalist and editor at the local Sweden. She joins me tonight from the Swedish city of Malmö. It's good to have you with us, Emma. So who exactly qualifies for these $34,000?
Well, they haven't specified all the details yet, but if we take the current grant as an example, that's only available to refugees or people who are in Sweden because of some other reason of protection and their families. So, like, say, a German white-collar EU worker can't just go, I don't really fancy Stockholm, I'm heading back to Berlin, can I have some travel money, please? And the current grant is also only available to people who already have a residency permit. So you also can't come to Sweden and go, well, actually, I've changed my mind, give me money, please. There are also, for the current grant, there are no restrictions on returning to Sweden after you've been given it, but you do lose your residency permit when you receive it. So if you want to return, you have to go through the same rather long-winded process again.
And do we know, Emma, is there broad popular support for this? I mean, $34,000, that's a lot of money.
Well, there hasn't been huge public debate about this particular issue yet. I mean, it's just one part of quite a lot of reforms that the government is pushing through on migration. Mm-hmm. And it's also not really clear what the impact would be in this case. Like, this specific reform probably wouldn't affect that many people, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, the numbers showed last year only one person actually got the grant money. It makes me wonder, what is the ultimate goal here? I mean, how many immigrants taking the money and leaving Sweden, how many of those would be considered success?
And the government actually do want to invest money also in informing people of this grant. But the inquiry that looked into this issue, it estimated that a grant of 350,000 kronor would increase this kind of re-emigration by 700 people a year. But they cautioned that it was very hard to say for sure. And the Sweden Democrat spokesperson on migration, he actually said that he believed that this was a lowball figure, and there's quite a big pool of people who would potentially be interested. I'm not quite sure what the cutoff point is for success, but I don't think it's a wild guess to think that it would increase compared to today.
The government has promised to take a hard line on immigration. Is this move just for show? I mean, I guess I understand the argument, put your money where your mouth is here. Is that what the Swedish government is doing, in your opinion?
I mean, the government would presumably say that it's one part of the puzzle and every little bit helps. Like, the idea from the government's perspective is that a lot of people today aren't integrated, don't speak Swedish, don't have jobs, aren't really part of society, and maybe in a lot of cases would actually quite like to leave, but can't for various reasons. It's interesting, though, that the government-appointed inquiry on this actually rejected the idea. Normally, when the government launches an inquiry, it gets this quite clear directives, and you kind of assume it to go in the direction of what the government wants. This time, the inquiry was asked to study other countries and find methods that could increase the immigration of immigrants through cash incentives. And it just basically went, nope, can't be done. There are no such methods anywhere that work to that end. Now, the inquiry did say that if Sweden were to increase the grant, it would probably increase the number of voluntary returns to some extent, yield a small benefit to Sweden's public finances. But it said that the risks far outweigh the benefits, that an immigration grant would send a signal to the target group that they're not welcome in Sweden, which would harm their willingness to integrate, which it said could have consequences such as lower labour market participation, more crime among the immigrant groups that the grant targeted. And it basically advised the government not to do this, and even said that actually in future budgets for the migration agency, you should just stop funding this sort of thing entirely.
Yeah, that's fascinating. And it certainly gives new meaning to the term golden handshake, that's for sure. Emma Lofgren, joining us tonight from Malmo in Sweden. We appreciate your reporting, Emma. Thank you.
So guys, finally it's here. That's what do you call it? That's $34,000 just to leave Sweden. Almost. I'm relocating there. So if I leave Sweden, I come back to Italy. Guys, let me know your opinion on this. This is very serious. $34,000. Like 50 million naira in Sweden. Here I come, Sweden. Here I come, Sweden. I am going to be rich. If I take this money, I just come back to Italy and buy a house. Hey, let me juju be that. Let me know your opinion. Would you take this money and leave Sweden? And what are the consequences of this? What are the consequences of this particular move if you take the money? Remember that even if you have a residency permit there, if you take the money, you leave. But if you want to come back to Sweden again, then you start processing your document. You start seeking asylum again. So it's not even... I'm still confused where... Okay, Sweden. Is it? No, Sweden. They have too much money. Are you sure I will not go there to borrow money? I'm thinking of what to do. These people have too much money, guys. Let me know your opinion in the comments. I'll be right back in a jiffy, please.